All right, let's talk about battle drill. React to the IED. Kaboom. Oh no, what do we do? All right, so we're on patrol. We have team 1, squad leader, team 2, team 3. We're getting knocked around a little bit, but that's okay. All right, we're on patrol, and team 1 encounters an IED or enters a minefield and sets a mine off. Boom. All right. What do we do? Well, everybody else back here is going to back up. They're going to retrace their steps and back up 50 to 100 meters. Okay? While that's happening, everybody up here on the initial team that did not get exploded, right, or is conscious having been exploded, is going to start to do self aid or render buddy aid. And they're going to be very, 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 very mindful about where they step and put things, because there could be more mines or IEDs anywhere, right? So look out for that. All right. These people now safely out of the minefield after walking backwards in their own footsteps, 50 to 100 meters, are then going to start to establish a cordon, right? They're going to establish a cordon all the way around. They're going to be sending guys like such. To make sure that locals or animals don't wander into the area, and to keep their friends inside safe. Once they've done that, they're going to get together a clear team with whatever special tools they have, metal detectors, scraping tools, probing tools, specialists, EOD, engineer guys on hand, whatever the case is, right? And they're going to clear up. Once they've cleared up, and they're going to mark a path, right? You can use flags, you can use glow sticks, you can use a big one we used a bunch, spray paint. You can use spray paint. One we used because we wanted to have non-permanent and easily to source resources was shaving cream. So we would just, as the clear team went up to clear to the ID, they would leave a squirt trail of shaving cream, which lasted for the few hours that we were there, but didn't permanently mark up anything, right? So, wonderful. Whatever you need to do, you're going to mark your fucking path. Once your path is marked, you're going to call up your medic. He's going to come up, and he's going to start to treat the casualties. Or alternatively, we can have the medic come up or stay at a CCP and then drag those casualties back to the medic. At any case, ultimately this is what's happening, right? We're coming up to the casualties, creating a cleared path, giving them some immediate medical treatment, pulling them off the X and out of there. And once they're out of there, we can all collect up and go home. Or alternatively, carry about our mission on an alternative route or further down the road on this route. If we discover more mines or IEDs, we will perhaps defuse or explode them, and short of that, we will definitely be marking them and moving on. All right, so let's talk about if things get worse than that. What happens if the IED is the opener of a complex ambush? Right? What's that Navy SEAL dude, right? Say it. Okay. Right, so if we're going along and then an IED goes off, immediately followed by us being in a kill zone, well, what that means is, as we're going to talk about in casualty care next, we have to fight. We can't worry about our friends until we have stopped the bullets from coming, right? So in that case, we're going to have to probably set up a support by fire and maneuver. Now, this is pretty shitty because we're not able to clear and be overly cautious, right? We're not going to be able to whip out all of these special tools and probe the ground and use metal detectors while we're assaulting the enemy. But we do want to be mindful that we're not being lured in to secondary IEDs or secondary minefields, and be leery of our steps, okay? Once we've eliminated this threat, then we can return to taking care of the IED as before. All right. What happens? Whoops. Wobble, wobble, wobble. What happens if the IED goes off in the middle of the patrol? Okay. That is a difficult one. That is a difficult one. You would assume that if there was like a minefield or a bunch of IEDs, probably would have been somebody in the first team that would have set it off. So if it's not that, it's more likely that it's a single or deliberately placed IED. So making a slight assumption and hoping that it doesn't bite us in the ass, what's going to be best is that if these guys come and set up a cordon in the front, and these guys come and set up a cordon in the back, and then communicate over radio who's going to send in the clearance team, right? Obviously, these guys, when they're moving forward and setting up their cordon, are going to be very cautious because, they might be walking through a minefield. All right, that is react to the IED battle drill, battle drill, battle drill, battle drill.